First story, Whispers Beyond Hollow Creek. I don't believe in aliens, or I didn't. Not until last summer when everything I knew about the world cracked open like a rotten shell. My name is Travis Cole, and I lived a quiet life in Hollow Creek, Texas, a speck of a town surrounded by fields, forgotten highways, and sky that stretched forever. My days were simple. Work at the gas station, drink with buddies, sleep. But that peace ended the night the lights came. It started on a Tuesday. I remember because that was the night I got off early. The sky looked wrong, like someone had pulled a sheet of metal over the stars. I was driving home on County Road 82 when my radio went dead. No static, just silence. Then, all at once, my truck stalled. Headlights blinked out. I slammed the steering wheel and cursed. That's when I saw the lights. They hovered above the cornfield to my right. 3 pale orbs moving slow, too slow for helicopters, too perfect for drones. No sound. Just an unnatural hum in the back of my teeth, like my bones were vibrating. I got out, stupidly drawn toward them. The air smelled like ozone and burnt copper. My vision doubled, and my ears rang. Then they blinked out. I stood frozen in the pitch black, but the night wasn't empty anymore. Something watched me. I felt it, deep in my spine. A movement near the tree line caught my eye. Tall, thin shapes gliding between the shadows. I don't remember getting back in the truck. I don't remember turning the key. But the engines screamed to life, and I peeled out of there like hell itself was on my heels. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, my neighbor Pete was gone. No one seemed to notice. His truck was still there. His dog was in the yard, whimpering and thin. I went over and knocked. No answer. I broke in and found the TV still on, food on the stove. Nothing made sense. That night I drank to forget. Didn't work. Around midnight, a low rumble shook the trailer. I looked outside and saw the same damn lights over my backyard. This time I filmed it, but when I checked my phone, it was blank, like the footage was never there. My nose bled for the first time in my life. I started seeing them everywhere, behind passing cars, reflected in windows. Their faces were wrong, long, pale, no mouths, huge black eyes that seemed to stretch into forever. One stood in my hallway one night, just watching. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. Then it was gone. I tried to talk to people, Sheriff Lorne, my buddy Danny, but they looked at me like I was losing it. Maybe I was. But then they started disappearing too, one by one. Danny vanished during a hunting trip. The sheriff stopped answering his phone. Even my boss at the station just stopped showing up. I started recording myself, leaving notes. I thought maybe if I vanished, someone would know I didn't just walk away. I dug deep. Forums, old newspaper archives, UFO groups. Turns out Hollow Creek has a long history of strange disappearances dating back to the 40s. Covered up. Buried. Then I found it. An old military report, declassified by accident. Operation Echo Spire, something about non-terrestrial presence in the Hollow Creek region. Subjective time distortion. Neural interference. Population control through memory suppression. I wasn't crazy. Last week, the power went out across town. No warning, just darkness. People screamed in the streets, then silence. I haven't seen another soul since. I think I'm the last one. They've been inside the trailer for hours now. I hear them whispering in my head like a language I almost understand. They don't speak with mouths. They don't need to. I tried to leave, but every road loops back here. GPS glitches. Compass spins. I'm stuck in a loop, like the town's been folded in on itself. Like Hollow Creek doesn't exist on Earth anymore. I'm recording this now, because I know they're coming for me tonight. I can feel them behind the walls, crawling just beyond the light. If you find this recording, you need to know something. They're not just visitors. They never were. They built this town. We were born in their cage. Second story, Whispers Beyond the Cornfield. It started one night in late August, out in the fields just west of Kinsley, Kansas. I had just finished dinner and was sitting on the porch with a cold beer, watching the last light fall behind the endless rows of corn. The air was thick with heat, but the sky was unusually clear. That's when I saw it. Just a flicker at first. A light, hovering too low and too still to be a plane, too smooth to be a drone. My name's David Marshall. I've lived in Kinsley all my life, working my father's land. I don't scare easy. Tornadoes, wild coyotes, even a bear once. I've seen plenty. But that light, the way it shimmered, it felt wrong. At first, I thought it might have been kids messing around. But then the cows started acting weird, mooing in low, panicked tones, pacing in circles near the fence. One of them just collapsed, legs twitching like it'd been zapped. I grabbed my flashlight and shotgun, hopped in the truck, and drove toward the field. The light was gone, but my ears rang like I'd been too close to a speaker. There was this humming, barely audible but deep, like it was coming from under the earth. I reached the center of the field and found a perfect circle of flattened stalks, about 30 feet wide. No tracks, no burn marks, just silence. The air smelled like static and ozone. I told the sheriff the next morning. He shrugged it off, said it was probably a weather balloon. Classic answer. But I knew what I saw. That night, I set up a camera on the old water tower overlooking the field. Motion sensors, too. Around 3 in the morning, the lights came back. But this time they weren't hovering, they were scanning. Blue beams sweeping across the rows like searchlights. I watched from the barn, heart pounding. The beam hit the scarecrow I'd put up near the edge of the field. In a blink, it was gone. Just vanished. Not burned, not torn. Gone. I checked the footage the next day. Static. Right as the lights appeared, the video went to black and never came back. But I wasn't done. I called my brother Dean, who worked in Wichita as an IT tech. He came down with thermal gear and a better camera. We spent 2 nights camped in the field, seeing nothing. But on the 3rd night, everything changed. It was a little after midnight when we heard it, a low, vibrating hum. The kind you feel in your bones more than hear. Then the corn began to rustle. Not from the wind. It was too steady, too precise, like something large was moving just beneath the soil. Dean aimed the thermal camera. "There's something huge under us," he whispered. Before I could answer, the ground split open. It didn't explode. It just peeled, like something unzipped the dirt. A blinding white glow poured out, and I saw them. Tall, thin figures with elongated limbs, eyes like black glass. Their skin shimmered, shifting colors like oil on water. They didn't move like people. They glided. One of them tilted its head at me. Not aggressive, just curious, like a child looking at an ant. Dean stepped back and tripped, falling into the open ground. I screamed, lunging for him, but the earth closed up like he was never there. Just sealed. The lights vanished. So did the sound. I stood there until dawn, shaking and soaked in sweat. No one believed me. Dean's car was still outside. His phone was in the barn. The sheriff thought he ran off. But I knew the truth. I stopped sleeping after that. Spent weeks tracking similar sightings. Talked to a farmer in Nebraska who saw the same beams. A trucker near Amarillo who claimed something followed his rig for over an hour. All of them had the same story. Light, sound, and then something missing. Then, 2 weeks ago, I started hearing whispers at night. Not voices. Just fragments. Echoes. My name sometimes. Other times, words I couldn't understand, spoken in that same low-frequency hum. I set up motion sensors inside my house, cameras in every room. 3 nights ago, at exactly 2:36, every sensor went off at once. The footage, just static. Again. And then last night, they came back. I was in bed, pretending to sleep, shotgun in hand. The lights poured in through the window like liquid. The walls started to tremble. That hum filled the air until I thought my head would split. I saw their shadows in the hall. Tall, silent, moving like mist. I fired once, then again. Nothing. No sound. No impact. Just silence and those eyes glowing from the corner of the room. Then everything went black. I woke up just before dawn outside, in the middle of the field. Alone. My house? Gone. Flattened like it had never been there. All that remained was the old scarecrow back in place, staring up at the sky. But I'm not the same. Something is wrong with me. My reflection doesn't blink when I do. Sometimes I hear static when I try to speak, and every night I hear the whispers getting closer. They took my brother, my home, my life, and I think they left something behind. Inside me. 3rd story, the signal over Black Hollow. I grew up in Black Hollow, a quiet backwoods town tucked into the dense forests of northern Washington. We had no malls, no fancy diners, just a gas station, a rundown diner named Betsy's, and a 2-lane road that everyone called the Vein, because it was the only thing that connected us to the outside world. My name's Tyler, I'm 28 now, but this happened when I was 19. It's been almost a decade, but I remember every second like it was branded into my brain. The way the sky looked, the sound the air made, the silence afterward. It started the night my brother Jacob disappeared. Jacob had always been the brave one. He'd sneak into the woods behind our house after dark and say he saw things, lights, shadows that moved without sound. One night, he came home shaking, saying he'd seen a figure too tall to be real. Mom thought it was weed. I didn't know what to think. Then, one evening, he went out with his camcorder, that old Sony one he got at a yard sale. He said he was going to catch the lights this time. I told him to stop messing around. He flipped me off, laughed, and disappeared into the tree line. That was the last time I saw him. We searched for days. Police, dogs, volunteers, nothing. Not even a shoe print. It was like he had never existed. His room stayed untouched for months, and eventually people stopped asking. A year later, I found the camcorder. It was lying in the grass behind our tool shed. Dry, unscratched, batteries still inside. I didn't tell anyone. I took it into my room, locked the door, and pressed play. The footage was shaky. The timestamp showed it was from the night he vanished. Trees, dark sky, his voice breathing heavy, whispering about them. Then there were lights. 3 perfect white orbs floating silently between the trees. Not blinking, not moving. Just watching. The last thing on the tape was Jacob turning around, screaming, "They're above me." Then static. I didn't sleep that night. The next few days were weird. The dog wouldn't stop barking at the sky, birds stopped coming to the feeder, and the sky at night, man, it just felt wrong. Too still, like the stars were fake. Then I started seeing the lights. They'd hover above the trees, just like in Jacob's footage. Always 3. Always silent. I tried to tell my mom, but she just looked tired, like something deep inside her had already given up. Then came the voices. Not out loud, inside my head. Like a whisper behind my thoughts. They'd say things I didn't understand, names I'd never heard. I'd be brushing my teeth and suddenly feel like someone else was in my brain. Like something else was thinking with me. And then one night, I woke up to the humming. Low and steady, vibrating through my chest. I looked out my window, and the woods were glowing. Not just the lights, everything. Trees, grass, the sky, all lit up like green fire. I should have run, but I didn't. Something pulled me outside, barefoot, into the cold. I walked like I was dreaming. When I reached the tree line, I saw them. Not the lights, them. They weren't little gray men, no big heads or black eyes. These things were tall, slender. Their skin shimmered like oil on water. No mouths, no eyes, just smooth silver faces. One of them raised a hand. My body lifted off the ground. I don't remember much after that, just flashes. Cold. Screaming that wasn't mine. A massive black chamber with walls that breathed. A sound like wind, but it was talking. Telling me things I still can't repeat. Telling me what they wanted, what they needed. Then I was home, lying in my backyard, covered in dirt. 3 days had passed. No one believed me. They thought I'd cracked. They said I faked the camcorder footage, made it all up to deal with the trauma. But I know what I saw, and I wasn't the only one. Others started disappearing. First, a kid named Ricky from down the road, then an entire family from the trailer park. Each time, the lights returned. Each time, the humming grew louder. Last week, I found a note on my porch. No envelope, just a single sheet of paper with 3 words written in shaky, jagged letters. They are back. Now every night, the sky hums. I don't sleep anymore. I keep the lights off. I don't go near the woods. Sometimes I see them watching from the trees. They don't hide anymore. They're not just studying us, they're choosing, preparing. I think they let me go for a reason. Maybe to spread the message, maybe as a warning, or maybe I never really came back. Maybe I'm still in that chamber. Maybe I am one of them now.